Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Terra Tech. And on this episode, we're going to be doing something we haven't really done before, something that you guys might have done now that the cabs are free. I used to have to pay for these things, and they used to be kind of expensive, so we're going to make a cab, but we're going to do something a little special with it, guys. We are going to put armor on it, we're going to put the shields on it, and we're going to see just how bad we can make this guy. Now, let's see if they're dropping, because I have noticed before that if you go too quickly, you can kind of see there in the background one of the cabs dropping when you push the button. If you do it too quickly, you won't get the item. In fact, you'll actually cost yourself money and you still won't get the item. Now, these don't cost me anything. I just have to wait. And again, if you're buying something really expensive, give it an extra few seconds for it to fall. Wait for it. You'll see it there in the backdrop. Click it again. If it doesn't seem like they're popping up, it may simply be, out of your range of sight, or it could simply be that you're not getting it at all. So you might as well exit out, check it out, and see what you can find there. Now, I don't know how far we want to go. I'm guessing because they all have wheels, it really doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, at some point you're going to be too wide to be able to go any further over some of these hills, but it's going to take a lot for a bot like this, especially since there's wheels on every single one of them. If you don't go up too high, it should be perfectly fine. I think we're going to go with 7. 7 seems like a good number. We'll just do that. And then, this is the tricky part. I don't know if they all need to be facing forward or if they're allowed to be facing off to the side. Now, I do know there's an enemy over there, I should say, off to the side, just waiting to attack me. And you might be wondering, why am I this far away from my other bot? Well, the noise over there is rather annoying when you think about the wireless chargers, constantly and always charging up. So that's why I moved over here to get away from that noise, why we build this. Let's see. Okay, can I move back? So this is forward, this is back. What about left and right? No, that's not going to work at all. They all need to be facing a certain direction. So let's do this. No, but we can't do that because then they won't be able to they won't all be able to attack. So yeah, they do have to be like this then, and we'll just have to get used to the weird, funky design of the direction basically that we get out of this. Now we're gonna need a lot more of these things, so we're gonna be buying these for a while. But before we do the next layer, I am going to check out the armor. We're gonna put some of that on and see how that affects us. We might not be able to control our bot nearly as well because that armor, chances weighs quite a bit, and that's going to slow us down, and that's going to affect I can't even speak tonight. That will overall affect that will affect the overall design of our bot in the end. And if we decide to make this go out or up, I should say, more than say 4 rows, what we can do with that would be to put some of the geocore wheels on the inside where it's hollow. And that will give us that extra weight capacity that we can put on our bot without going overboard for the wheels. Now, I've never seen that design done, but it's definitely something I would like to try out and see how well that works. So I think we're going to go 7 on each one of these rows. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one more on this side right over here. And then we're going to keep going over here on this side. There's just so many things you can do with this design. I hate to say, only do what I'm doing here, but you do need to make sure that you keep in mind that you're going to want to have shields on this. I mean, yeah, they're pretty strong, and they don't have to destroy just one little piece of your bot anymore, because every single one of these things works for your cab. So until they're all destroyed, the bot itself won't bust apart into pieces. But I don't know. I mean, you're still going to want that added protection. So, okay, this... Can I go forward? I can't even move, really. I don't know how well this is going to work. I think I'm going to go with the yellow blocks on this one, to be honest. So let's get a few more of these cabs, and then I'm going to buy some of those wheels. I'm going to make these guys go up here in the center, just so I can put some of those wheels on and kind of pop my bot up just slightly off the ground. I don't want to do it too much. I don't want them to be able to get underneath me. I want these guys to be the ones moving, but since they're all pointed in different directions, they're not able to get any traction and go straight because they're all wanting to go a different direction that's straight for them. So I think the only way around that, like I said, is just the yellow wheels. Now, let's see. We need to put... actually, let's move these forward. I think we're going to put one in each corner, and that should be more than enough. So there's going to be 4 on these all together. Let's see. This should be good right here, actually. I don't think we need to go up one more row. We might, and if that's the case, we'll definitely check it out. Again, the reason I'm showing you guys this, some of you guys may want to actually see more action, but I wanted to show you the process of building and what you go through when you're thinking about what you need to do and whether it's going to work or not. And sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you have to sit there and go back and redesign it again and again and again until it finally does work out for you. And there's a lot of trial and error, but that's, you know, where some of the best parts of the game really are, where you can sit here and design the thing to your heart's content. So now I can go with the GeoCore Workaday wheels, or I can go with the GeoCore Big Boy wheels. I think I'm going to go with the Big Boy wheels. They're a little bit more on the costly side. They're also a little bit bigger, so that could be a downside. We'll also go with the GeoCore Workaday wheels just to try them out and see if they fit. Again, when you sell these items, you get back the full amount right now. That may not always be the case, but for right now it is. So yeah, you can only fit like one of those in here. Look how big that is, guys. That's a lot bigger than we need. We'd have to go up several more rows to fit those in there. What about these? Can we fit those in there? That's still a lot higher than we want. We'd only have to go up one more row to fit that on there exactly where we need it. So let's move this to the side. We'll put these on here and we'll try that out just to see if that works. Now the reason I went with 2 wheels is just so we could try it out. That's going to cause a lot of lag on this bot. I didn't even think about that with the lights. Jeez, that's going to be amazing. Okay, so that works. That is going to be what we're going to have to do with this. We're going to have to use those wheels. That's what I figured at first. You know, looking at it, it's just going to be... Did it scrolls back up? I think it did. So let's get some of these GSO cab armor plates and put those on. These are 50 a piece, so pretty cheap. We're going to be able to buy a whole lot of these and basically cover our entire bot with these things. And hopefully with any luck, we're going to come underneath the weight, especially with these GeoCore wheels. But the GeoCore wheels are now going to be supporting all the weight for our bot the entire time. So that's a little bit more than I thought we'd have. Let me see if I can put these things on. I guess it goes on automatically, don't they? I think they do. Let me spin to the side, see what that looks like. Oh yeah, check that out, guys. And it keeps the weapons completely open to the elements so that you can actually fire at whatever you're aiming. That is going to be cool. I like this. You know, I do still wish you could change the color of the blocks. Again, you know, if you have different color armor plates, that could be your out. Like that would be your way of designing a pattern on this thing and actually making it come to life. So let's see, we got one more right here. Yeah, it's not going to cost very much money at all. In fact, I think we spent more money on the giant big boy wheels than we'll probably spend entirely on the armor plates. So that's going to be easy for us. So let's buy a few more of these things. Again, I'm going to show you this from start to finish, all the way in, and then on the next episode, if you guys may not want to watch all of this, you can skip ahead to the next episode. The next episode, we're going to take this thing out and see just how well it does. We still need to put shields in here. We still need to put recharge bubbles in here, batteries as well. But there's going to be plenty of space on the inside for whatever we need. Now, those wheels, they do take up a lot of space, but you know, it's going to give us that one row right down the center. And to be honest, that's really more space than we even need. That's going to give us you know, several batteries, maybe 4 or 5 rows or 4 or 5 things of batteries right there on the bottom, and then your repair bubbles. I mean, it doesn't take up that much space. So yeah, we should be fine on that one. Let's see, can we get this turned in the right way? Yes, we can. And then I'm going to buy some more wheels so we can put those on, and I can get a good idea of whether this is, you know, really going to work. I'm hoping it does. That's a little bit too low. Let's raise that up. Let's put that all the way up here on the top, because they look like they're touching. They actually do look like they're touching. But until I test it for myself, there is you know, just that idea in the back of my head that I'm gonna build this thing up, make it look really cool, and then figure out that, oh no, you actually need to spread out, one extra square or something like that, and completely redesign your bot. So I'm doing the fundamentals right now, the stuff that I'm worried the most about. So here we go. We got one of these coming in, one more. Should be all we got, all we need. There we go. Okay, so let's put those on real quick, guys. I actually haven't used these wheels too much, so I'm kind of excited to try them out. And I don't think we'll be able to fit any blocks. Oh yeah, we will, right here on this. Okay, so those should be able to go across. Let me stick a few in there just to make sure. Yep. Okay, so they can go under those wheels just fine. Let's move those wheels, or you move these blocks out of the way, and let's see if we can move around. Oh yeah, check that out, guys. That's gonna be rough. Oh yeah. Holy crap. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, geez. Whoever thought of this is a freaking genius. Just the fact that you can have multiples of these things and they all have weapons on them. They didn't used to, guys. These things used to be completely and totally worthless. You had to spend a lot of your time to make sure that you protected them as much as possible because, one, they couldn't take any hits. Two, they couldn't fire. And three, once they got destroyed, that was it. You lost your entire bot. You had to go back and pick all the pieces, which takes a long time to rebuild. It'd be nice if they could give you a little machine or a little, item or something that you could attach to your bot that would memorize the blueprints of your bot. And then you could go out and fight, and if you got destroyed, it would pick up the pieces around you into it, like rematerialize that bot into what you were looking for. That would be kind of cool because then you could actually create bots in like a virtual place, design what you were going for, and then when you went out and actually fought creatures, it would redesign your bot for you. Ever making that to the specifications that you have put down. That's kind of a neat concept. It might be a little bit too much on the easy side because it's doing all the work for you, but the same token, I think it would make life easier for you to experiment with bigger and better builds rather than having to stop all the time. And that would give you that fast-paced action that some people might be looking for. Now, I am going to change the direction of these corner pieces periodically just so that they can fire in different directions all the time. Like over here, I have one's firing forward, so the next row is going to fire off to the side. And that way, there's a little bit more protection all the way around at different levels. So let's put these back on here. So we're pretty close. We're at 3 rows. We still need to do a row back here, 2 rows in the back, a couple more in the center, and to finish off this one. And then we can start buying the blocks that we actually need for the armor. And once we get to that point, we're ready to go. We're ready to go out there and fight some creatures. In fact, we could probably do it without the armor, and we might try that. The downside to doing that is that the fact that we don't have any shield bubbles or recharge bubbles on our bot, we're going to take quite a bit of damage. Now, once you get those shield and recharge bubbles, you really don't need the extra armor, to be honest. But if you ever get into a really bad fight where your shields get drained drastically, or you just get into one fight after another, after another, after another, then having that ability to take that extra damage comes in handy. I've actually had it several times where we stay out for too long and we take, just a crazy amount of damage out there. And yeah, if you take your solar reactor with you, you can recharge your bubbles or your batteries while you're out there. But even with that said, it's not always the easiest thing to be able to do. You're going to have to wait till it's daytime, first of all, to be able to do it. And then second, if you're out there in the deep desert and you've been fighting for a while, there's a good chance that there is no safe spot, that the places that the creatures are coming at you are just everywhere around you. And if you get an invader on you as well, the invaders have gotten a little bit easier. Actually, they've gotten a whole lot easier, to be honest. It used to be that they would track you across the entire map. It didn't matter how far away you got from them. They were coming for you, and they would eventually find you and wreck you. And second, they used to spawn so much more often. And so there had been times in the past where, you get on and you're just being chased the entire time you're on by the enemy. And he is wrecking you every time he finds you. And it's rough because when you lose that bot, you basically have to start over from scratch. You have to go either find your pieces or go and get new ones. And if you have a bot that constantly chases you down and destroys you, you never really have a chance to rebuild, and you keep getting given that bare bones model of, you know, just the cab. I think it's one block, like 4 wheels and a weapon. You know, like you don't have any chance whatsoever. I've actually shown you guys on some of the Let's Plays where we go through and we fight enemies that are way, way, way stronger than anything we should be fighting that early on. And all we have is that cab. We keep dying. We keep coming back. You do a few shots and then you die. You do a few shots and then you die. So you are doing damage to him. Theoretically, you could sit there for as long as you wanted to and kill him off. But it's going to take you so long that it's not really worth it for you. You could go off and you could level up your guy the natural way, you know, kind of easing your way into some of that stuff, and then come back and kill that guy in the amount of time it probably would take you to kill him with that early on bot. And it would be miserable because you'd be dying, like, you know, every 4 seconds. It's a pain in the butt. Like, if you die that quickly, you're going to lose a little bit of the enjoyment. You're going to lose a little bit of that satisfaction from killing the enemy because you really didn't kill him. You know, you just kind of whittled them down, and there's not going to be a whole lot of enjoyment at it, that I would imagine. At least for me. Maybe for you guys out there, you know, watching, somebody is probably thinking, oh, no, I could do that, and that would be fun. If it is, I don't mean to, you know, demean you in any way. Just for me, I would require a little bit more, you know, hands-on and, you know, oh, that's what I did. Like, I did that. It wasn't just anybody could have done that because, you know, you're just whittling them down as much as possible in the course of like 20, 30 minutes. And it actually is like 20 or 30 minutes, guys. I've taken on that cab when all I had was the bare bones model, and it took like 20 minutes. And even then I stopped. Like, I stopped because I was just dying and dying and dying, and I was doing almost no damage to the guy, that I realized this would be taking me hours. You know, like, it's just not going to be something anybody's going to want to do. This armor looks really cool. I'm actually digging it quite a lot. And it's a piece that we found on one of our old episodes as we were going through. It was just a random piece off one of the enemies. That is how you will find a great deal of the items that you get in this game, is just going to be random stuff that enemies drop. And it really makes for kind of an exciting and an addictive way of going about playing the game, because you will have it where I can actually put it there on the side of these things too. Now, it's not really necessary. I wonder if they can take damage where the holes are. So maybe going with the full, you know, solid panel on the sides would be the way to go about it. I don't know if that's actually a thing or not. I'm hoping that this is still going to be fine. I mean, even if it is, it's a very, very small amount of damage in a very small area that these bots could take. I mean, think about it. It's right there where the window is, and they all have windows there on the cab. And then, of course, it's right where the weapons are. And, you know, the weapons are right there in the corner. It's going to be a very, very precise shot if it's able to do that at all. So that's not too bad right there. It was a couple thousand that we spent overall so far, and we still have plenty of money. We also have these wheels that we can go back and sell to the little vendor thing over there, that little terminal, and make a little bit of our money back. Actually, quite a bit of our money. I think, like I said, they were like $1,600 or something on that one. And remember, I'm making several smaller bots, but you're more than welcome to go with the bigger bots. The bigger bots have a nice cushion of safety because of their size. The bigger they are, the more damage they can take, the more they can carry, the better off you're usually going to be when you make really long trips. Those are the ones I like. But some of you guys have been letting me know that you actually like the smaller ones. Those are the ones you tend to play. And so that's what I've been doing on this playthrough, guys. I've been doing the smaller little bots so that we can try those out and give them a chance. Because for me, the way I always seem to go through it, the many times that we've, you know, restarted this game and played through another patch that they've updated, is to try to get to the biggest and baddest you know, blocks that they have in the game and create just this massive bot that just wipes the floor with everything else. That is definitely a viable solution, something that you can get a great deal of enjoyment out of. But if you do that too quickly, you will be bypassing a stage of the game that is very hard to go back to, once you've gotten accustomed to using the geocore blocks. Like nobody really wants to come back and play with the Geo or the GSO ones once they have geocore. You know, like that becomes their new favorite thing to do. And these little small ones are quite fun. You know, they're agile. They're still pretty strong. They can get around places. They can be your workhorses, your mules to carry items back and forth between each other, or to go off and harvest for you. If they ever get the AI working to where it's trustworthy, where it actually does what it's supposed to do, and they, at some point will do that. They just haven't really had time to work on it as much as I'm sure they would like to. But as soon as they get that working, some of these designs that may necessarily not be great for attacking will be perfect for your harvesting. And I think this one right here, I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, it may not be that great for harvesting, because every single one of these lasers firing off at one time would probably destroy whatever it is you're trying to harvest, because that is a thing, guys. You will destroy things like that. I would actually have the drills on this thing if I was really trying to have it go off and harvest, because then I wouldn't have to worry about it losing anything. Now it's really not going to lose. Oh crap, this thing is fast. Wow. Okay. Even with all that armor on, this thing is incredibly fast. That is crazy. So I'm going to need to watch out for that. Now you'll see that I get a little bit of lag over here. Again, the more items you have on the map, the more lag you're going to get. So ideally, if you're getting these kind of issues, what you're going to want to do is, destroy or recycle the bots that you have built in the past that you are no longer using. Of course, that does mean that you can't turn them into harvesters or protectors for your base, which I'm actually looking forward to. I want to see what that actually looks like. Where can I make little small bots that just spin around my base and all they do is protect it and guard it? Because if that's the case, I definitely will be doing that early on in the game. I'll be creating these little small guys that have 1 or 2 weapons on them that just kind of spin around the base, go around in a circular pattern, and just guard my stuff. Because in some of the playthroughs we have gone through, the enemies can be quite aggressive. They've gotten a lot better with that. They've dialed it down. They dialed it down too much, and then they dialed it back up and dialed it back down. They've really kind of pinpointed what's enough and what's not. And so with these last few patches, we really haven't had to worry about it just being incredibly hard. But they could easily do an update where they change that, or they put in a hard mode, faction or hard mode ability for people who wanted that extra challenge, or make it where once you get to a certain stage in the game, progressively gets harder and harder and harder. Who knows what they're planning on doing? So I just kind of, when I design my bots, I make sure that I design them with the worst case scenario in mind. And that way, at the very least, I could survive. And if I can survive worst case scenario, I can make my guys a little bit less, defensive, and maybe go with more aesthetically pleasing designs if they do make it easier. Or if they do make it like that, and I need the extra space, I know how to take that out and still keep that defense in there so they can survive the battles. Because there has been playthroughs where right off the bat, like literally just starting out the game, you were attacked. You're actually doing that now with this playthrough. You're attacked by, I think it was Tony, and he's your arch enemy. He's the guy who harass you as you go through. They used to have him actually where he would show back up, and you'd have to face off with him, a second time. I think it was like the Revenge of Tony or something like that. That might still be in the game. They've changed it so many times, it's hard to, keep straight what's actually still in and what's not. At some point, though, the storyline is going to be like their next focus. So they've already kind of shown you that they're interested in that by giving you these quests and, letting you go off and do your own thing. That's kind of cool. But I'm interested to see where the story goes with the different factions. Like, are you going to have to pick at some time between them? Do you have to decide that maybe I want the Geocore and less of the GSO ones? And if that's the case, where you'd have to actually pick between them and find out, and being limited to just that one faction that you picked, that would really kind of change the gameplay. You will have people who will have incredibly cool GSO blocks that will go really well with the geocore ones. But if you can only have one or the other, wow, that's going to be something kind of weird that I've never seen before. That would be interesting. I would like to try that out. Now we're going to buy a lot of these batteries because we're going to need probably at least 7 or 8. The more you have, the better off you're going to be. The longer you can stay out. These are pretty cheap now. 98 is pretty good. I think they used to be like 500 or something like that back in the day, and they're really hard to find. Now, not so much. I'm glad they've made that easier. I'm glad they made a lot of these items, free for you to buy or make right off the bat. And then as you progress through your grades, you get access to some of these other ones as well without having to find them. Because it's a nightmare trying to go through this game without one of these 3 items. The battery, the repair bubble, and the shield bubble. Without any one of those 3 items, this game is just incredibly hard, because without your shields and the ability to repair yourself constantly on, you just get the floor wiped with you. Like, you have to go back every single couple, like every few minutes, or put down your solar reactor and your shield generator and hope that it's able to. Oh, we're gonna need that wireless charger too, and hope that it's able to repair the full length of your bot, like it can actually fit into it. And what I found is it almost never fits in. Your bot will get bigger and bigger and bigger, and as it gets bigger and bigger, it gets harder and harder for these things to fit in there. Let's see. Okay, so you're good. Let's see. We have what is this? A shield generator or repair? I think it says repair. Okay, so we got that one there. What happened to the other one? Did I already put that one on? No, I don't think I did. So I'm gonna have to buy another one of those. I'm gonna have to buy a shield one, unless it's hiding underneath one of these wheels. But if it is, don't see it. Yeah, I don't see it in there. Oh, there we go. Nighttime, guys. Whew. This is lag city on this spot. This is gonna be, it's gonna be interesting. Okay, so let's go ahead and, if it will let me, it's lagging out. It's lagging out bad. Okay, and there we go. Let me buy it. Come on, go into. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I need this one up here. We'll purchase that, and then I need to look for the wireless charger. Wireless charger, where are you? I think it's a little further down. Yeah, I think it's gonna be way down on the list. So let's see if we can find that. Now, of course, if you have multiple batteries, you might want to have multiple wireless chargers. I believe it can charge up 2 to 3 batteries at one time per wireless charger. So if you're going to have like 6 or 9, you could go with multiples of those. Let's see, there it is, wireless charger. Now, they are $288 at the moment, but there's no guarantee that's the price they're going to stay at. Now, I'm going to buy 3 of these just because we got the money and we got the space, and we have a lot of blocks to kind of charge up here. Now, let's see, we're going to put that in here, if it will let us. Don't. There we go. Come on, there we go. Nice. Okay, it didn't quite put it where I wanted it to. Jeez. These lights are just, they're a headache when it comes to lag. My game will be perfectly fine during the day, but come nighttime, geez, this could be rough. Okay, so we're gonna have to move these things around because they're not quite. Yeah, I don't want them in the side like that. I want them directly in the center, if I can help it. Nope. Lag strikes again. Okay, let's get these out of here. Let's put these on the ground. Nope, that one went flying for some reason. Did not. That one went flying as well. Yeah, so we're going to have to find that one here in a few minutes. Thankfully, it does transfer its energy to the other batteries. So even though we took them off, we still have plenty of batteries on our bot here. Now, not all of them are within that sphere of healing. Some of the things on the side over here would get damaged. So we're going to have to do something about that. Now, we will have to seal this up as well, because you got to remember that enemies do have mortars. And of course, the mortars are just going to wipe the floor with you at some point here. Let's see. Let's put these things on. And then I think we're going to go ahead and call the episode here, guys, because we're very, very close to having this guy up and running. And once he's up and running, we're gonna take him out and we're gonna see what we can do with him, guys. We're gonna put him through his paces and see if this was a worthwhile design or not. I think it was. I think it will definitely be a really cool bot that's going to kick butt for a long time to come, guys. But we'll have to leave that open to you guys to decide. Again, thanks for watching. If you do enjoy these videos, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. Definitely worth helping the channel. If it definitely appreciate that is what I'm trying to say, guys. Thanks again for watching. Until next time.